A White House spokesman said today that the use of heavy weapons in Aleppo showed the, quote, depth of depravity by the government of Bashar al-Assad. For more on the conflict in Syria, we turn to Youssef Amrani. He is Morocco's Minister Delegate for Foreign Affairs, the second highest ranking official in the ministry. Morocco is a member of the Arab League and currently is the only Arab country with a seat on the United Nations Security Council. And Mr. Minister, thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
What is your understanding right now of where the conflict in Syria stands? Who has the upper hand?
Today, I think the situation is worsening. We are witnessing a humanitarian crisis, and if nothing is done right away, the country will go into civil war. We have tried, Morocco as a member of the Security Council, we have taken the lead in the Security Council, but we were vetoed by Russia and China. Now the importance and priority must be given to save the civilians, to stop the violence against civilians, and to prepare the necessary conditions for a political and democratic transition.
And how should that be done? You're here in Washington today. You met with congressional leaders. You were at the White House, meeting with White House officials. What are you looking for? What are you asking?
We're looking for the strengthening of the opposition that should have the necessary measures to be able to build up in a sovereign way its future. Then we need to support, all the
build up, and in what manner? What sort of help?
The future of Syria must be democratic and should include all different groupings of the Syrian society, and of course the independence and the national integrity of Syria should be respected. Of course, this means that we need that the current regime is not able to lead the democratic transition.
And are you asking the United States for more help? As you know, the U.S., other Western countries have been reluctant to get involved militarily.
Listen, the U.S. has been committed since the beginning as far as political solution. Morocco also, as you've correctly stated, the only Arab country in the Security Council. We have taken all the decisions taken by the Arab League to the Security Council. Today, we need more pressure, and we need to see, because we think that we are stuck in the Security Council with these vetoes, and I think to move forward.
And when you say more pressure, what kind of pressure are you talking about?
More sanction, more international support, and to work with the Russians to see if they can help to find a political solution and a way out, because the status quo actually is not acceptable by the international community.
Now, we know that some members of the Arab League, some of the Gulf states, are actually sending military support, military help to the opposition. We know that Turkey has closed the border to prevent trucks from going from Turkey, from Iran into Turkey. Are you asking in any way for more military support for the opposition?
For us, the priority is a negotiated solution to move forward, because we don't forget that there are a lot of weapons in Syria, and especially even chemical weapons. We need to avoid any catastrophe. So that's why we are giving all the chance for peace and negotiated. Then if we fail on this in this issue, maybe we can think about alternative solutions.
And at what point do you decide that diplomacy isn't working? Because this has been tried and tried and tried
We have to continue trying, because it's important in the Security Council and elsewhere, but we should work with the opposition, we should work with the neighboring countries to find a political solution, because a humanitarian crisis will be could not be managed.
So are you saying it's a mistake for any outside country right now to send more military support to the opposition?
Let's give...
Or intelligence support?
Of course, intelligence is essential, it's important. Let's give some more chance to negotiation. We hope that Russia and China would understand that for their own interest, it is better to have a safe and political outcome to this crisis, because nobody can manage the humanitarian issue, knowing the interconnection between the terrorist organizations in the neighboring countries.
Well, that brings me to the question. One of the reasons the U.S. and other countries have been reluctant to get involved to support the opposition is because they don't know what a successor government is going to look like. We just saw in that report Al-Qaeda starting to show up among the opposition. How can you be sure that the next government won't be as repressive as this government?
Listen, we had some experiences in Libya, in Tunisia, in the Maghreb that were successful. I think that we have to believe that thanks to dialogue, thanks to negotiation, we'll be able to move forward, because any escalation in violence won't be a solution. And we, as Morocco, we believe we give more chance to this dialogue, and we hope to succeed. We know today we are a little bit stuck in the Security Council because of these vetoes, but we will try. Morocco is hosting the next meeting of the Friends of Syria. We are thinking about
Friends of Syria.
Friends of Syria. We are thinking about some ideas, because I think we should, continue to make more pressure on the regime. Maybe we will find out. As you know, 2 days ago, the foreign ministers of the Arab League have sent some messages to Bashar Assad, try to see if he can leave.
Any response from him?
Not yet.
Do you think there will be one?
I really cannot answer this question. I hope that the Syrian people continue to fight.
Do you agree with those who say it's just a matter of time before his government falls?
It is also a matter of time. And we have to continue believing that, and believing on that the Syrian people are trying the best to overcome this dictator regime.
Minister Youssef Amrani of Morocco, we thank you very much for talking with us.
Thank you very much.
And online, we explore whether the Arab League can lead the diplomatic effort in the Syrian crisis. That is on the rundown.